Thanks for tuning into Hudstone Media, where we use our superpower of hindsight to rewrite movies and TV series. Throughout this series, we've looked at what the original Star Wars trilogy told us about the events that occurred before it. This has allowed us to put together a general overview of what happens during the prequels and is the basis of this rewrite. So without further ado, here's the Star Wars Rewrite, Episode 1, Fate of the Republic. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, on the planet of Coruscant, a species known as humans spread from their planet, expanding throughout the stars, colonizing new systems with their hyperdrive technology. They brought technology and civilization to the galaxy and formed the Galactic Republic. During this expansion, a religion was born, the Jedi Order. Rising from obscurity, they taught of the Force, using it selflessly to help others. The Jedi, however, were not the only ones to use the Force. Another group, the Sith, also used the Force, but they focused only on themselves and their desire for power. After many conflicts, the Jedi finally overcame the Sith, eliminating them from the galaxy and bringing peace and justice to the Republic for 1,000 generations. The galaxy is at a crossroads. After years of clone soldiers being used for intersystem wars, the Galactic Senate has brought forward a vote to ban cloning. An increasing number of systems in the poorer outer rim who depend on clones are resisting these changes and have powerful support in the Senate. The vote hangs in the balance, as does the Republic, with the senator from the planet of Naboo holding the deciding vote. The Royal Starship of Naboo flies into Coruscant airspace. On board is Senator Queen Amidala, her husband and her daughters, Sola and Padme. The Queen and Padme discuss the upcoming vote. Padme complains that she could have stayed at home, that Sola is next in line for the throne, only she needs to worry about politics. But her mother explains that all the royal family serve the people, as they depend on the royal family to stand up for them in the galaxy, no matter the cost. Padme storms off, but her father catches her. He reassures Padme that her mother loves her and just wants what's best for their people. The vote will be over soon and they'll be able to go home in no time. As the ship arrives on Coruscant, there is an explosion and everyone is killed except for Padme. This event causes chaos within the Galactic Senate. Senators argue and debate what should happen. Most are human royalty, with a few alien species, including the Mon Calamari and the Bothan. The Senate goes into session to decide what will happen with the vote. The Chancellor decides to delay the vote by 4 days so Padme can be coronated as Queen and return to vote. The news of the attack on the royal family arrives back on Naboo. The Queen's brother, Sio Amidala, assumes control of the planet in their absence. At the Jedi Temple, Padme and her head of security, Captain Panaka, sit outside the large doors of the Jedi main hall. Mace Windu emerges with 2 Jedi Knights, Obi-Wan Kenobi and his apprentice Sharad Het. Windu explains that they feel someone is still targeting her and she will need the protection of the Jedi when she travels back to Naboo. Captain Panaka isn't pleased with this, but he has no choice. The princess's ship leaves Coruscant, escorted by a small group of Coruscant security fighters. As they leave the safety of Coruscant airspace, a black fighter appears and begins attacking them. The escort fighters break off and engage the attacker, but they are quickly dispatched. The black fighter then zeroes in on the main ship. Obi-Wan orders them to jump to hyperspace immediately, but the navigator is still calculating the course. They take on fire, the shield is failing, and the navigator tells him he needs another minute. The Black Fighter fires 2 photon torpedoes at them. Obi-Wan yells that they don't have another minute, and they need to jump now, to anywhere. The navigator plugs in the first coordinates available, and they jump to hyperspace, just as 2 photon torpedoes pass by. The ship exits hyperspace in the outer rim, near a planet called Tatooine. Obi-Wan looks at the charts. "Why are we out here? Where did you take us?" The navigator replies, "You said take us anywhere." The ship is damaged, so they fly down to Tatooine to make repairs. The security captain wants to contact Naboo to send reinforcements, but Obi-Wan tells them no one is to make contact. It will just alert the assassin to their location. Padme, however, is contacted by her uncle. She tells them where he's located, as she trusts him. After the transmission, CEO leaves the room and speaks with his benefactor. "You told me they'd be dead and I'd be king. You do that for me and I'll make the vote go your way." The cloaked figure responds that he is sending his best assassin to finish the job. He just needs to know where they are. "They're on Tatooine," CEO replies. The Jedi leave the ship to find someone who can make the repairs they need. Padme, however, insists that she go with them. Captain Panaka and Obi-Wan both object. Padme, however, insists that she stay with the Jedi for protection. Obi-Wan reluctantly agrees, but insists they change into something to blend in more. In the township, they ask around for repairs, meeting the odd collection of human and aliens that inhabit Tatooine. After avoiding a few confrontations and unhelpful locals, they meet Anakin Skywalker. He's working in a garage with his friends Owen and Beru. The Jedi ask for help, but only have Republic credits, and Owen refuses. Anakin, however, feels a strong connection with Obi-Wan and mentions this. Obi-Wan smiles, explaining that they are Jedi on a secret mission to stop slavery in the galaxy. Anakin immediately offers help, but is shut down by Owen. Later that day, Obi-Wan speaks privately with Sharad. He explains with excitement how strong with the Force Anakin is. Sharad has noticed it too, but he isn't impressed. He is jealous that his master's affections are elsewhere and insists they don't need Anakin's help. Obi-Wan disagrees and returns to Owen's repair shop. Obi-Wan explains the Force and the history of the Jedi to Anakin. At first, Anakin is pessimistic, but once he sees Obi-Wan levitate an object, he begins to believe. Obi-Wan tells Anakin that he is strong with the Force, and it is the will of the Force that he helps them. Obi-Wan continues to explain to Anakin, Owen and Beru, about the history of the Force, the Jedi, and the current state of the Republic. Anakin is now even more determined to help them, to join the fight to free clones and slaves throughout the galaxy. Meanwhile, the assassin lands on Tatooine and locates the princess's ship, killing everyone on board. The navigator just manages to send a message in time, warning the princess that the ship is under attack. Captain Panaka replays the message to Obi-Wan, who demands that they leave now and find a new ship. Anakin mentions that Owen's father has a ship that could get them to Naboo. Owen objects, but Anakin convinces him and he eventually gives in, leaving Beru behind. The group rush through the bustling city towards the aircraft hangars. The assassin soldiers spot the princess in the crowd and begin firing. The group take cover and the cloaked assassin emerges. Obi-Wan and Sharad look at each other with surprise. Sharad tells Obi-Wan that the cloaked figure is a Jedi, that they need to confront him. Obi-Wan agrees he is strong with the Force, but the dark side of the Force. Obi-Wan tells him that their first priority is to save the princess and get her to Naboo. The group escape under fire from the assassin's soldiers, reaching their ship and leaving. Captain Panaka provides cover, but is killed in the process. The assassin is enraged by his failure. He sends a message to his forces to form a blockade of Naboo to stop any ship from entering the planet. During their flight, Anakin and Padme sit together. At first they are at odds due to their different backgrounds, one as a princess and the other as a slave. But their disagreements soon become an understanding as they share an experience of loss and not having the freedom to choose their own path. Anakin explains how his parents were killed and he was sold off to slavery, how Owen's father saved him from that slavery, and why he now wants to stop cloning. Padme opens up about the death of her family, that as a second sister she never had a normal life or the freedom to do the things she wanted. This shared experience brings them closer together as Padme mourns her family. Later on during the flight, Obi-Wan teaches Anakin to use the Force, teaching him to levitate objects. Sharad, however, looks on unimpressed. Anakin asks to see his laser sword. Obi-Wan, however, tells him that the lightsaber is only used in defense and not for fun. He also explains that the people hunting them seem to be strong with the Force, but the dark side of the Force. As the ship exits hyperspace, they are confronted by the blockade, an armada of ships. Immediately, they are under attack as fighters emerge from the main ships, blasting their lasers. Owen gives the controls to Anakin, much to Sharad's disgust. Anakin flies the slow, sluggish craft with precision and expertly avoids the trailing fighters, lasers and missiles. Obi-Wan enters the flight deck and sees Anakin's skills. He tells Anakin to let the Force guide him. Anakin's flying improves even more. Sharad leaves the room frustrated. Anakin manages to make it through the blockade, but they take damage. Anakin safely crash lands the ship away from the capital in the swamplands. Thanks for watching part 1 of Fate of the Republic. If you'd like to see part 2, just click on the thumbnail on the right and let us know your thoughts. Cheers.